Hey guys, welcome back to our home builds. This is an update on the house, and let's get to it.
Follow me into the house to see some of the new things. In fact, we can stop right here. These are the entry columns. We used the veneer natural stone here. This is the same cement that we used right there on that edge. And you might say, well, it looks a little different. That's kind of a brownish, and this is a polished version of it. So we polished it because it went better with this stone. On the top of this, we're thinking, well, we could use wood and paint it. But of course, that means that Son's going to have to be doing maintenance every couple of years because wood paint peels, especially here where the sun will hit it in the mornings. But instead, we're going to be using this product by TimberTech. And this is not an ad, but if TimberTech, you want to send us some free product, we won't turn it down. We first used TimberTech in this 7.5, 8-inch version. It looks like a real board. It's very sturdy. We used it in those balconies right there. This is a Class A fire-proof material. It doesn't burn. It doesn't catch fire. I've taken a torch to this and held it for 5 minutes. It will sinter a tiny bit, so it will change the product, but it never catches fire. It doesn't melt. This is a great product for fireproofing. So I thought, well, why not use it in these colors? We will change the color to something like this. This is an ashwood version. And we will make columns that go up to the top with that. And that's coming up hopefully in their next episode.
Hopefully.
You'll be able to see that. Follow us into the house now.
You'll notice here at the doorbell we have an Ethernet wire, which is a little bit unusual for doorbells. The reason for that is that our doorbell is power over Ethernet. Just like pretty much everything in this house, cameras, Wi-Fi, things like that, we're using power over Ethernet. We haven't done it before, but it seems like a good technology, so we're going to give it a shot.
All right, so here we are. We made some progress. Let me turn some lights on here if you can. We start with the baseboards all around. We're using, I think those are 6-inch baseboards.
Yeah.
And we're almost done with that. It's coming out really, really good. These are 10-foot ceilings, and those baseboards with those crown molding looks fantastic.
There's still some slight finishing on that wall, so ignore that, but everything else is pretty much...
Yeah, that wall's going to have cabinets, so we're probably going to have to take that piece out. Follow us to the kitchen first. Ignore the mess here. These are some of the products that are being installed this coming week, including these 3x6 Italian tile that are really amazing.
All right, we're back here in the kitchen with some more updates.
This was just installed a few days ago. This is quartzite named
Mykonos, I believe.
Mykonos, that's right. And we chose 4 slabs to do this kitchen. And if you'll notice, for example, back here, the veins continue from one end to the next. So these are book matched, okay? In hindsight, I regret a little bit having put plugs and switches here. I had planned to put them underneath the cabinets, but once you have 3 light switches, it becomes a little bit cumbersome and tricky to use when they're underneath the cabinet. Plugs you could put to here because you're only plugging once in a while. What we're going to do though is we're going to paint these plates the same color as the cabinets, which kind of blend in with the stove. The other alternative, which I've also considered, is actually painting them to look like the stone. And I've seen people who are very dedicated do that. The problem is, once you do that, you can't actually see where the plugs are. It's very difficult to find them.
So maybe a future project if we end up deciding on it.
Yes, so I think for now it will be painting them the color of the cabinets so that they blend in and they don't stick out. And we'll also paint the switches most likely and the faces on these plugs. So yes, we have all this done. and we'll be finishing up in the next week and a half or so.
We have the range test fitted
range.
here.
It's only presented now to make sure that we can fit it in there. There's only about a 1/16 of an inch clearance to get it in and out. There's still another piece that goes here. So we're wrapping this piece of cabinet in the same stone and then putting a cap of the same stone up here. There's also going to be another piece that goes here that matches that. Hopefully they'll have enough stone to do it all the way to the top. What else? Here there's a refrigerator that we can install now.
You'll notice that the two wings of this booth are also book matched.
Yes, these two wings are book matched. Here we have a different type of item. We can sit 2 to 3 people on each side, 2 very comfortably from about here to here, and then 2 more on that side. You can, if you need to, you can fit 3. But this is a sitting area that is custom made so that you can sit people around. There's going to be a table right here in the middle. You can scoot around, and we're going to put, of course, cushions and such around the back. And one of the things that we need to do now is put plugs in here, because if you're working with your laptop or you want to charge your phone, so I consider putting some plugs down below here. But then we also need plugs for the people who might be sitting here, and we were planning to put them at the ends. But then we thought, well, why don't we look at other options? And one of the options is to put pop-out plugs. You push a cap and it pops up.
It's like a circle that you push.
See, here and here on both ends of this, so that both people sitting on this bar and people sitting within this area can hook up devices. These are not going to be, probably not going to be used heavily, but it's convenient. If you're working on your laptop and you need to charge, boom, you have somewhere to do it.
Yep.
There's a stone. Here we decided essentially to put a piece of this stone that's going to cover this shape. And then the cushions are going to go just about the same height as this. So it's...
You'll never see the wood behind it.
No. This here is going to be removable to have access to the gas line and the electrical connections for everything. Next, let's go to take a look at some of the bathrooms that have already been finished. At least the stonework. Here we have this piece that was cut. The sink is in there. These are Kohler sinks. I like the curves that we got on them, so I had to go out and get 6 of these sinks. This has to be finished. We ended up having to push all of these outlets about an inch up in all the bathrooms, which was a pain because the fire block is right here. So we had to cut the fire block with some tools to allow us to push it up. But this will cover that hole, and then the plate will go on there, so we can also patch the hole. But so these bathrooms are ready for glass, the shower glass as well. Then we have this other bathroom, which is just the movie room, bathroom, playroom, and this one's ready to go. One of the things we did on this one that's different, we put this wainscoting, and it came out really, really well. If you notice, the paint here in the middle is darker than the paint in the top.
This lighting is not the final lighting for those of you wondering, but
yeah, there's going to be a better light up there.
we do have.
Yeah, it looks really good.
There's going to be a sink right there, so that's why there's a little.
Yeah, the sink behind us is the one that's going to go. The pedestal sink is going to go right in there. All right. So follow us next to the staircase.
A lot of updates on the staircase.
So the staircase still being finished in certain ways. We're not putting the steps in until everything's done. We already have the steps done. We just don't want them to get ruined with traffic. But one of the things we have I have been struggling with, let me turn the light up here, is the how to finish these borders.
Yeah, so what he's talking about with the borders is basically where this wood here meets this drywall here. You know, how do you make it look even and neat? And that took quite a bit of effort that I'll let him explain.
Yes, so because of this curve, it's very difficult. If you come down, you can actually show them there. Very difficult to curve wood this way and not have the grain look wrong. So this here is a solid white oak that we purchased, and we're able to cut segments of it to get the grain to more or less align. Doesn't look perfect, but it's very natural. And then we also mitered it or routed it to have a little curve. As you go up, you can show them the curve. It's essentially a curve like this one,
Like this
on the bottom side.
See it right here.
Yeah, so that's all routed on site.
Done in-house.
In-house, yes. And there's still some touch-ups to do with the stairs to make it look right, but it's really looking good. I mean, we had to wrap that edges on the edge of the floor, and it's right there. And then we also routed these pieces all the way around. And that took some doing.
Over here too.
Yes, here we have a specially made piece of baseboard to go around
all the rails.
the rails. And follow us next to the laundry room. The laundry room's coming along.
The dome has molding. I don't think we showed you guys that yet.
I think that was in there a long time ago.
I don't know, but
Anyway, the laundry room is coming along. It's the last room that needs a sink. It's almost there.
we have some stone here. This is the same stone we use in the kitchen, correct?
No,
Oh no, slightly different. Okay.
it's different stone. This is called something bianco.
What kind of stone is it?
That's quartzite as well.
Quartzite as well. Okay. Awesome.
So here is a raised platform for the laundry, washer and dryer and washer, sorry. We're gonna put a face like this, cabinet face all the way around, all the way to the top here, bottom and then across, and then there's gonna be a surface in the top here, like a cabinet surface, wood surface. And then we're thinking of what to do here still, whether to put cabinets or just some sort of covering so this is not visible. That's in the works.
There's going to be a sink right
There's a
here.
sink right there.
That's the
And
last piece of stone to be put in aside from the master bedroom, which is the
Why
difference.
don't you follow us into the Jack and Jill room here?
Let's do it. Actually, what's this for?
That one is going to go in the laundry room when they change the sink. It's a long sink.
Oh, okay.
But the sink that we got fits in that hole.
We
So,
wanted a stainless steel sink in that room.
yes. So, this is one of the Jack and Jill rooms. It's cut already. We had to push this forward about 1.25 inches so that when the baseboard that goes along this the bottom of this cabinet is put in, it covers the edge of this tile. So it was about 1 inch too short, and this seemed like a better solution.
Yeah, and there's going to be that backing is also going to go around the walls here on the side,
Yeah,
which we'll actually show you on the other side. But
Yeah, this has to be finished still. So
we'll show you actually the other side where we had that. Actually, we'll walk through here. I'll show you if it's leave lights on here for now.
why is the light on? Oh, it's because of this other light.
And the shower is done here, which you guys can see. I think you've seen this before, but this is going to be a bit of a towel rack.
This is gonna have a stone piece, just like the sinks. But here we had a double plate because we have a double box. So in order to put the backsplash, 6-inch backsplash, it was gonna end here, which wasn't gonna look right. So now we're gonna put a single plate instead and end the backsplash right there. So it's still gonna be a tiny bit short, but not much. And these are glued on, so if we ever need to do something here, it can be removed,
Yeah.
and then we can put it back on.
And one thing to point out with the showers here is you'll notice these drains have these quick remove things, so you can clean out the drains very easily
It's
without
called a
having-
hair catcher.
Haircut.
son, for that big hair you have in your head.
Don't have a lot of hair, but
So yes, all the showers have that. Make it easier to clean and not like get clogged. This one is actually done.
this is the toilet room.
This one is actually done. If you notice, the plate is right there at the edge. Also, all these cabinets are soft close. No slamming of cabinets anymore.
That's right. Bedrooms here, these are all carpet.
Yeah, the carpet will hopefully be coming in the next week or so.
And these are the mirror doors for that closet.
Yes, these are mirror doors, 4 feet wide by 8 foot tall for the closet in this room. This is the only closet in the house that's not a walk-in. But we've designed the built-in cabinets here really well, so it's going to be very useful. There are going to be drawers here, then what do you call this? Boards for space to put in clothing, and then hangers top and bottom.
And those are being made as we speak, so maybe in the next video you'll see those.
Yeah. And then this is the other bathroom. This one has almost a 7 foot or just over 7 foot long surface. This one's also ready for hardware. We're working on getting the what do you call frameless doors here. I'm trying to get sandblasted doors for privacy, although this one doesn't really need it. It's a private bathroom more or less. Follow us now to the master bedroom. The master bedroom baseboards are done. I don't think we showed them all the wood flooring, did we?
Actually, no, we haven't showed them any of the wood flooring. At least not the
So-
finished version.
So the master bedroom, as well as most of the house, with the exception of 3 small rooms, have white European white oak, 7.5 inch wide, and we have finished it on site. Several layers of sealer, and then several layers of satin protective coating.
That's right.
So
Real hardwood.
here we have some form of tile that you see there. We put in these cabinets just this weekend. On these cabinets, for example, these ones are also soft close. Pushing it, and boom, no slamming involved. There's going to be a tower, 12 inch or 14 inch out, all the way to the ceiling here. Light sink on this side.
And then mirrors on both.
That's, if anybody was wondering, that's hers. This is
His.
true. As well as the closet. That's the big closet over there is hers.
This big
For
closet.
clothing, and this is the shoe purse closet. Okay, that it's not huge, but it's also not small.
I mean, it's just for shoes and purses.
That's true. Why isn't this? Oh, it came on. a
But
second.
it came on a second ago. I think
There's a timeout on these
there's a
things.
timeout on the motion. Yeah.
Yeah. This is yours truly.
this is
only
his.
closet.
Only one closet for him.
Yes, I guess I have to fit my 3 t-shirts and 2 shorts in here.
Somehow. Yeah.
And then, yes.
See the flooring a little better here.
Here is the shower. This is the last big thing that has to be finished in this house, aside from cabinets that somebody else is working on. So we put in the flooring. These are hexagonal tile, marble. It has to get sealed. But this is a curveless shower. In the counters behind there, This is silas stone. This is what's going to go in that counter and that counter. And we're going to put it here. This is about a 5/8 of an inch thick in reality. This is just a sample. But the big draw for silas stone is these glittery things. This is a man-made product. They put these glittery things and veining and it looks really good. So we're going to put an edge all around this of silas stone as well as in the bottom of each of these niches to make it pop against the more or less cream white stone that's going to go all the way around. So that's the idea. Hopefully we'll be able to show you that in a couple of weeks.
Definitely.
Here we have a big challenge with what to do in these two big arches. How to tile big arches. If any of you have tiled big arches, it's tricky. Because while we can put tile on this interior surface is the same tile we're going to put here. It's a big tile, 3x6. We can cut them to have those curves. What do you do at the underneath portion here? We can't really bring the same tile in here when there's so much curving going on. So we might be using something like this, which is a Carrara marble with some veining. And because it is small enough, only about 3 inches, it kind of maintains the curve as you go along. So we can put pieces, like lengthwise pieces this way. And then in the joint between the tile and the marble, and even the tile here and the tile on top, we were going to do essentially a 45-degree cut and then use epoxy grout. There's a new method of using epoxy, newer, relatively new. I've never used it, but the advantage is that when you have the tile here and the tile here, you end up with a very small 45-degree and you fill it in with epoxy. If you were to fill that in with grout, there's a very, very good chance that it will eventually crack, letting water go inside. This way, the grout is epoxy and it won't let water through and it won't crack. So that is the advantage. The other advantage of using, well, not the advantage, it's not a huge disadvantage because these tiles are 3 feet by 6 feet tall. There's not a lot of grout lines like there would be on a floor or anything made with small tiles like the one behind you, right? That's a lot of work because in epoxy you have to put tape along each of these sides to put to the epoxy. Here, there are not that many grout lines. This is definitely doable. It might take 2 days, but it's doable.
Yep.
Well, I think
That's
it for now. We're making good progress. We're trying to finish this house within the next 4 to 5 weeks. At least move in the next 4 weeks or so. We'll see if it happens. We're very close. There's just some cleanup to do and some minor stuff. We have a stone person working on the stone stuff, cabinet person working on cabinets. I'm going to bring in a carpet person in the next week to do the carpets. It should be done in 1 day because there's not that many carpets here. And then we'll work on all the outside portions, which there's a lot of work to be done on the outside. We'll see you in a couple of weeks.
See you. Thanks for watching.